Hey, Michael with Quiet Lawn here. We are getting into brown patch or large patch fungus season. That's typically during the cooler parts of the year, April, May, like in late spring, late summer, April, May time frame, and then again in late September, October, November. This is the time when we get these cool nights. Our temperatures in the nights are usually 50s and 60s. Maybe 70s and 80s during the day. This is the time that you'll see a lot of disease in the lawn because the lawns are not, they're starting to go dormant, so they're not sucking up as much of the water as they are in the summer, and also they're not drying out as much as they are during the summer, and we're typically getting more rain. So go ahead and reduce your watering to once a week at the most. If your lawn is staying wet and you're seeing signs of brown patch, which you will attach some pictures here so you can see it, reduce your watering. That will typically solve the problem, but you might need some fungicide as well. You're normally going to see these issues on the sides of the houses, in between the houses where it doesn't drain very well, where both houses kind of drain together, or where your downspouts pour out. That's where you'll see most of your brown patch, large patch. Watering is 75% of having a nice healthy lawn, and it's very important to do it properly. If you're over watering still during this time, it's going to cause some problems. During the winter, starting in December, we typically have people shut their water off until late March or April. The only time we recommend watering is doing it once a week during the winter. If we're not getting any rain. If you're getting regular rain and the ground is staying moist, then you don't need to water. If it's not, like this year was very unusual in March, we had a drought from March to the middle of May. And what happens during that time is the wind dries out the root system. It just dries out the ground. So it can cause a lot of problems, and we saw a lot of damage in the lawn this year. So that'd be the only case where you'd be watering during the winter. As if we're not getting rain and you're wanting to keep the root system moist. But go ahead and back your water off to once a week and reduce the duration of it. Once we get into December, we start getting into the real cool temperatures. The color starts leaving the grass. It starts going dormant. Go ahead and shut your system off. Or like I said, if we're getting dry times, go ahead and just water it once a week lightly to keep the root system nice and moist. But you'll see, and you're already seeing with these cooler nights we've been getting in the 50s and 60s, that the grass is shutting down very quickly. It's getting ready to go dormant. You don't want to be fertilizing past this point. We typically say stop fertilizing in September, except unless it's like small amount for a different purpose. And at this time, the only fertilizer we would recommend would be a winterizer, which is all potassium, and that's what we'll be putting out in November and December. And that is very different than what you mostly think of fertilizer, which is nitrogen. Nitrogen is what makes the grass grow up, and it makes it thicken up, and it makes the plant above the ground grow. Potassium does not do that. It makes the root system grow. And although your grass is dormant above ground in the winter, it's brown, the roots are still very active. So during that time, adding potassium can help with a stronger root system, and it can help withstand disease during that time, because most of the fungus and disease and damage to your lawn happens over the winter while it's dormant because it stays so wet. So a winterizer fertilizer with just potassium in it is pretty powerful. But if you have any questions, let us know. We try to send out a lot of educational tips because there's a lot of different parts to having a nice lawn, and just spraying weeds and feeding it is a small part of that. There's a much bigger thing: how you take care of it, how you water it, how you mow it, etc. But please reach out anytime you have any questions, and thank you very much.